Okay, so I'm explaining my assignment 1 login functionality. Up here I have a bunch of global variables that I'm going to use. So this is a scanner to scan objects. Valid numbers, this is for input handling. And then these two file objects, these are file objects for the username and passwords.txt. And I didn't read until way too late that we were supposed to have one big log file in a format like this until it was far too late. So the algorithm design could change because of that. So these two variables here, the indexes, they're used to compare the usernames and passwords eventually when we're checking if they are equal to each other. So over here in main, I am creating, or it's like a menu, and I'm doing input handling. So input num, so here, it basically checks if your input is an int, and if it fits within options 1 or 2. I didn't hard code it, so in case I wanted to add like a third feature to it, I could. So I did a big switch statement, or well, small switch statement here. So case 1, if you type in 1, you get put into the login functionality function, which calls on input username and input password, which I'll explain later. Then case 2, register functionality, which goes to the two register functions. So going by order here, username, enter username. So input username function here. So good username, that basically checks if it's a valid username, and then the result is basically the product of scanning the console for the response from the user. So essentially, this is a scanner object. So we read the input, we go into usernames.txt, look through all of them, and then as soon as we find it's equal, we say it's true, and then we break. The username index gets incremented every time for the password comparison purposes later. And then I did error handling here, so try catch statement for file not found. And then if it's not a valid username, not a good one, is we would print username not found, and then this is do while loop. So while it's not a good username, you have to reprompt the user. So that's how you can get the reprompting. And then input password, it's similar. So you're looking for if it's a valid password and a known password. So essentially we prompt the user, we scan, and then we go through the passwords. And then we index the password index, going down every line. And if it's a known password, we break from the while loop that scans all the lines in the file, or the text file. And then if it's a known password, or wait. If it's not a known password, then we do password not found. We reset the index, which is important, so it doesn't add on. So we do 0. But if it is a known password, we also have to check if it matches the username index. So the username index Brody is on line 4, and then it basically has to match with the 4th index. So that's how I made sure that username and passwords checked out. And if it didn't, then username and passwords don't match, password index gets reset, and then the do while loop, we get sent back and reprompted. Okay, so now we're on to registering functionality up here. So when we register username, we want to see if it's a valid user and a unique user. So we assume that it's a unique user. So we do. So we prompt the user, scan the file, search for the usernames, and we're searching if they match, but then we say unique user is false. So that's a case where you can't make a new username because it's not a unique one. And then if it's a unique user, then valid user is true. Then we break out of this do while loop. And now we're going to try. So this big loop checks if it's a unique and a valid username. And then this code block here, we make a new file writer object, and we write. We do \n first, which clears a new line, and then we type in our result or the user's input, and then this is a exception for exception handling. Register password is much of the same. We basically, again, we want to make sure that it's a unique password by iterating through all the passwords, comparing them, and yeah, and then we write the new passwords in there. And what's neat about it is that you can make a new account, and then you could rerun the program, and that account would still be there because it's saved to the txt file. Now some test cases here. Let's type in some letters for this. So it must be an int, and then if we do 3, which isn't an option, we get reprompted. So then 1, enter username. Let's do gibberish here. That's not a username. Username not found, and then so my password. So I could type in a password that exists but isn't mine. You get this message, and then you could type in a nonsense password, and then you get that same message. Then if you type in the real password, you're successfully logged in. Now let's make a new account here. So new username, if I type in Brody, not a unique username. Now I could type in a new one, say Baron for example, and then a new password. Let's do an old password, not a unique password. So now we can type in a new one, like Mimi 420. And then account successfully created. And now the cool part, we can log in to that account. Boom. And that is the assignment 1 program.